Hey guys, welcome to today's video. As promised, I wanted to do a video testing out the products that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. It's going up a little later than I wanted it to, but I wanted to check these products out with you guys. I also have some products that I recently accumulated that I purchased over the past month, and then some of these were new releases at one time or another, and I've just been holding on to them for first impressions. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to test everything out, and then I will give my final thoughts at the end. If you enjoyed today's video while you're watching, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get into it. Before I do my brows, I'm going to apply this first, the Becca Skin Love Glow Elixir. I have a tiny bit left of this. This is in my current 20 in 2020 project pan. I always like to apply this first, that way it has time to absorb before I do my base. For my brows today, the first impression is going to be on this Revolution product. It's called the Soap Styler. It says, for laminate, fluffy, natural soap brows. I was inspired to pick this up by my friend Jules. I currently have the Patrick Ta, what is that called? Brow Wax, and that one's tinted, but I'm curious to see how this compares in terms of hold. I do want to lay down a little bit of color first. This is not a first impression. This is the Wow Brow from e.l.f. I tried it when I did my full face testing out e.l.f. and I did like it, but I haven't reached for it again really. For directions, it says to dampen the applicator, which is this little guy, it looks like a little toothbrush, and swipe across the soap, brush gently across the brows in desired direction to create a 3D look, or use without water to hold brows in place. Instead of getting up, because I'm lazy, I'm just going to spray this with some setting spray, picking some of that up. Not quite sure how much I should be using. I think I would prefer if this brush was a little smaller. Okay, I am so excited for this palette. I bought the Naughty palette from Huda. I love the new Nude palette. Also currently in my 20 in 2020 project pan. Not because I don't like it, but because I knew that I could get through some of those shades. And I think this is gonna be a really nice companion palette. A lot of the shades are deeper, so I can get more of a smoky look with this one. And I'm just really curious about some of the textures in here. So we're definitely doing swatches. There's the outside packaging. It says 18 shadows and 5 ready to layer textures, 8 velvety soft, powerfully pigmented mattes, 5 high shine buttery metallics, 3 multi-reflective shimmer cream marbles, 1 matte cream marble, 1 sheer pearly gloss hybrid. And we've all seen that slippery shade has created quite the controversy. I really have avoided watching any tutorials on this palette, but I did read somewhere that once you get down into the couple more layers of that slippery shade, you do get more of the pigment. When I swatched it in my Sephora haul video, it was very light. I'm just gonna swatch these on my arm and then I'll zoom you guys in. It's Filthy, Passion, just so much deeper than it looks like in the pan. Shameless, Please Me, Hypnotic, I'm gonna build that one up a little bit, and Hard. Just like the Passion, it looks like a matte, but it's very buttery going on, and that's the first 6 swatched. Untamed, definitely need to build that one up. Irresistible, Flower Power, Rough, I'm having to build up most of the mattes, Spicy, and Arouse. The middle row, I'm trying to get to some of the little bubbles in Slippery to get more of the pigment. Slippery, which just feels like I'm putting lip gloss on my arm. Tantric, Naughty, building that up. Not my cleanest swatch, but you get the idea. Provocative. That one's really pretty. It has a little shift to it. Desire. And Juicy. Bottom row swatched, the slippery shade you can barely see. I don't quite know what I'm going to do today. I'm just gonna kind of start and play around. But I think the texture that I'm most excited for are the ones that are described as the buttery metallics. That's the Tantric, the Desire, Irresistible, Shameless, and Please Me. They just felt really nice going on, very buttery as they claim. I'm also using new brushes today. These are from BH Cosmetics. I'm not quite sure when these launched. I've had them sitting for a while. I picked up a set of these a while back and I really enjoy them and I had to get another. And also pulling these out today meant that I did not have to wash my brushes for today's video. I just thought these were so pretty, the peachy color. And the other set that I purchased, I have washed them and they do wash really well too. And then for my lids, what I'm gonna prime my eyelids with, this is something that I've been trying out recently. This is from KVD, it's the Shake Primer. It's interesting and I like it. Usually I just use concealer on my lids, but what happens, especially this time of year, is my eyes are very dry. And sometimes when I use concealer, you can really see that showing through. I think this is gonna be really nice for me going into the winter months and it won't be quite as drying on my eyelids, but it is a little tricky to use. You have to be really fast with it. I gotta tell you guys, I've been buying the KVD up like crazy. I was someone who boycotted the brand, but now that she's no longer a part of it, I can buy some of my old favorites like the tattoo liner. I also really love the liquid lipsticks. I have a couple of the liners that I also purchased for today's video. So when you shake this up, it's black, but you can see instantly it starts to separate again. So the goal is to try to use it up while all the liquid is mixed together. So I'm gonna do this very fast, but I do just wanna show on the top there's a dropper and then on the bottom there's a push button. I'm gonna shake it with the top off so I can do that as fast as possible. And then I got some of the primer. I've just been doing it with my finger. I haven't used a brush for this. I just haven't found the need for a brush. And once it dries down, it starts to feel a little tacky, so you know it's going to grip the shadow. So, a fun fact, I pretty much had everything done and then I used a makeup wipe to clean up the bottom portion and I cut too high and I just decided fuck it and I am going to restart. So, the shade I'm going to put down first as just as a base shade is I'm going to take Hypnotic. I was doing the purpley shades and I gotta be honest, this spicy shade was a little hard to blend. Maybe I'll try it with a different brush next time I use it. I did use my Vera Mona color switch to switch out the color, even though the end of the brush may still have some purples and pinks left on it. Next, for my crease, I'm going to go into Arouse, which is like a terracotta orangey shade. And then to deepen up the outer V, I'm going to use Naughty. Also applying that to my outer lid as well. I feel like some of these shades are giving me some trouble blending out. I don't have this issue with Nude. That palette I can just throw down, fluff out my brush, and they're pretty much perfect. But this one I'm really having to work with more. This eye is giving me so much trouble today and I'm just tired of fooling with it. I feel like I'm really on the struggle bus. I want to try some of these textures on my lids. I'm just going to move on. Sometimes it's just not our day and we have to keep going. So that's what I'm going to do rather than keep fussing with it. And I want to try, I know I said that I was really intrigued by these buttery metallics is what those are called. But I also want to try this shade. It has that shift to it. I think I'm going to attempt to use both of them on my lids. Now this shade on my finger looks like that. I am going to try to dampen this brush though and see what happens with it. Because I'm using it in the inner corner here, I'm not really going to be able to get in there with my finger. That's pretty. Has a little bit of a reflect to it, a little copper in there. Instead of the gold, I think I'm gonna go in with Shameless, that buttery metallic formula, and just press that in the center. I wasn't a huge fan of the mattes, but these are so pretty. For foundation, I'm not using a foundation. This is the Tinted Base Oil from Kosås. Not a first impression. I have used this once or twice already. I do really like it. It's very light coverage, but I like the glow that it gives me. This is in Tone 02 Porcelain. And the couple of times that I've tried it, I also really like that it didn't cling to my dry patches, which is something that happens sometimes with tinted moisturizers. It says on the directions to just apply this with your hands, so I'm gonna do that. But before I do, I'm also going to prime my nose. The Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. I've had this thing forever. It's lasted me so long, but it's one of the only products that I feel like truly does blur my pores. My fingers are so dyed from the eyeshadow. So yes, super thin. But as you can see, that small amount really does cover a lot of area. I'm working fast because I feel like it's a product that you have to with, otherwise it may look patchy. My nose is looking a tiny bit dry, but that's nothing new. Definitely gonna be a lighter coverage day. I feel like this is something I could wear with a face mask though, and there wouldn't be a lot of transfer. I'll have to try that soon and I can let you guys know. I don't know why I do this. I always keep the boxes of things. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that away, let go of it. For concealer, nothing new. This is the Under Eye Brightening Corrector from Becca. I thought just because I wasn't using a full coverage foundation today, I could get a little more coverage underneath my eyes. And then the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I quite like this one. I go back and forth between this one and the Hydrating Camo Concealer from E.l.f. I love both of them. For the Brightening Corrector, again, just the smallest amount. And then the concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my under eyes. For that, I am also going to take Naughty on the top part of my lash line. I'm not gonna do false lashes today, just mascara, but just to give some depth. And then I'll also do that on the lower lash line. I'm also going back into Arouse. For my inner corner, I'm going to dampen Flower Power, which is this gold, white, marbly shade. Lots of fallout from that one. I have so many options for liner. I have been buying colored liners like crazy. The NYX, the Epic Wears specifically, I think I've purchased 5 of them. I have 2 of them right here. This pink one I have used before, but then I also have this one. It's called Berry Goth, and I haven't used this one yet. And then I also recently picked up, you guys know how much I love those LA Girl, the Neon Shockwave liners. I use them all the time. I did not realize they also had pastel. I don't know when these came out, but I was so mad that I didn't know about these. I don't think these are appropriate for this look. I think I'm going to try to keep it more like fall time. So with that being said, I think I'm going to use the Berry Goth. I know I didn't do a lot of purple today, but I think it will still go well with this look. I really like the feel of these. They are super smooth. My only gripe about them is that about half of the ones released are metallic, and it's not obvious on the packaging which ones those are. I think the pencil has like a tiny bit of a sheen to it, but you really can't tell. The first ones I picked up, I ended up returning one because it was the metallic formula, and I don't think that it wore very well. But these, the ones that are more matte, those stay really well on the waterline. I love that pink one that I just showed. And for mascara, I have been obsessed with this still. The E.l.f. Keep Your Curl Mascara. I've been having a hard time reaching for anything else. Just the way this makes my lashes look, it really does separate them and gives me curl. It doesn't flake throughout the day either. I feel like Essence Lash Princess has been dethroned, which is a bummer because I have a backup of that one, but I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. For bronzer from Milani, I'm using this Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in Sunlight. I cannot wait to play with this blush from Melt Cosmetics. I picked this up during the Sephora sale. I wanted it when it launched, but I made myself wait. This is Buzzkill. It's a peachy champagne duo. I'm gonna swirl my brush in both of them when I apply this, but I do just wanna swatch it real quick. I was avoiding swatching this because the pan is so pretty. So beautiful. I think I'm really gonna love this. Started with a small amount just because I wasn't sure how pigmented this was going to be. Definitely see some of that shimmer. There's little chunkier pieces of glitter than what I anticipated. I thought it was going to be more shimmer. Not mad at it, but I did want to mention. If you've been following me for a while, you know how badly I wanted to try the Fenty Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. I picked this up during the sale. I think though today I also just picked up this from Nabla. I've really been wanting to try this formula, and I think because of the warmth of this look overall, I am going to test out the Nabla today. This one I can save for a future video if you guys want to see it, if you haven't tried it already. This I purchased in the shade Ozone. I was between this one and Privilege. That is what it looks like. Nabla just kills it with their packaging. Even this is more simple than some of their other packaging. It's still really aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna just try this with my normal highlighting brush first. I don't really know if this is applied best with a sponge or not. It's supposed to be very skin-like. They make bronzers too in this formula. If you guys have tried that, let me know. I'm curious about those as well. I think that's one that would really benefit from spraying setting spray down first and then applying the highlighter. I'm gonna try that next time that I use it. For lips, I have all the products to try. I have 2 liners from KVD, and then I also have 2 lipsticks from Juvia's Place. This is the nude formula. I have a nude chocolate and a nude peach. I'm going to swatch all of these to see what I wanna use. For the lip liner, I have Lolita on the top and Bow and Arrow on the bottom. These lipsticks I did not get to see in store. I just looked at swatches to determine which ones I wanted. We have had the empty display at work forever, and I got tired of waiting for them to come in. Hopefully we get them soon because I really would love to see them in person. That's me and then Toffee. And that's the 2 of those up close. I think I'm gonna use Bow and Arrow and Me, which are the center 2. These feel really creamy. I do feel like this is a formula that if you twist it up too much, it's just gonna break right off. I'm just using a little bit at a time with light pressure. And then the shade Me. This formula feels matte, but it is a comfortable matte. Like I said, I had looked at some swatches to determine which lipsticks to buy, and I also watched some videos. And one of the ones I watched, it was a swatch video, was from Angelica Nyquist. I think I said that right, but when she tried this one on, she just kept saying, Me is the one for me, and that's all that's ringing in my head right now. It was so cute. And then a lip gloss that I am super excited to try out. This one's from Tower 28. I know these have been a cult favorite. This was just something I completely just added on during the sale. It wasn't even on my wish list. It was on my radar, but I hadn't quite favored it yet. And then I was checking out, and I was like, oh, let me try that out. So I bought mine in the shade Cashew, and I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm not really smelling much of anything. Again, this is a product that when it launched, I wanted it, but I didn't let myself buy it because I have so many setting sprays. The Milk Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. I love the primer. It's so cool looking. It looks like a little lava lamp. That's what it reminds me of. The back says, a shot of blue agave extract forms an invisible layer to grip and set makeup all day. Hemp-derived cannabis seed extract, aloe, and hyaluronic acid. And then for directions, it says shake to mix and activate the formula. Use as a setting spray to lock in your look. Hold bottle 8 to 10 inches away from face and mist evenly onto skin 2 to 4 times. So about standard, except for that you do have to mix it. Such a pretty color and very even mist. Okay, final thoughts on everything. Let's just start with the setting spray because that's where we last were. The radius on this was really nice, and then the mist was also fine. I didn't get any droplets on my face. I do feel like it helped my nose a tiny bit with some of that dryness. As far as gripping goes, I don't know yet, obviously, and I'm also not wearing a full foundation today, so I'm gonna have to test it out on a day when I am. I feel like I'm a broken record whenever I do first impressions because pretty much after every product, I say say I'm going to have to use this again to figure it out. So I'll know later on how I like this. I would like to get back to doing monthly favorites. If that's something you guys want to see, let me know. It gets kind of hard to make sure that I update you guys on everything that I tried, and I feel like that's the best format to do that. Probably not in December because I will do a yearly favorites at the end, but getting back into it going into 2021, let me know your thoughts. The soap styler, this next time that I use this, I will try with my Patrick Ta brush, the dual-ended one. It has like a little angled tip and then also has a spoilie. That's what I use when I use the Patrick Ta wax, and I think that would be beneficial when I use this one. It's just smaller. I go in with the spoilie and I kind of twist it through my brows, and I feel like it really helps hold them. That brush I felt like didn't get deep into my brows where it would actually hold them up. But as far as the look goes, it's fine. Probably like any other brow gel that I've tried, but maybe with that brush I will get a better result and I'll be able to tell a difference with it. The palette, like I said, I did have some issues with blending, especially when I got into the purples. I don't know if it's just me, the kind of day I'm having. Next time I try this, I will try it with some of my other brushes, although I really don't think it's the BH brushes just because I've been using that other set. I could try it out with concealer because I am kind of new to the KVD primer. That could have been it, or it could just been me. I could just be having an off day. But blending wasn't great with this, especially when I got into that deeper purple. I had some trouble there. The textured formulas though, and that's really what made me buy this palette, the shimmers and the multi-chromes and all of that. Those seem super unique when I saw the swatches online, and just going by Nude, I know how much I love some of those formulas, and that's why I picked up this palette. I don't regret it. I just think those mattes are going to take a little more work, and I can update you guys on this palette as well, let you know my thoughts after I've used it a few more times. I will be doing at the end of the year, I've mentioned this already, I gave myself a limit on how many palettes I could purchase this year. I gave myself a goal of 10, and last year I saw Samantha March do a roundup of all the palettes she purchased that year and rank them, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I will definitely be talking about this soon, sooner than we know it. I can't believe it's already December. The Buzzkill Duo, see, this is me. I always save the box. I don't know why I do this. This one's so pretty though, I do kind of want to keep it in the box. But the Buzzkill Duo, I was not anticipating the glitter in it, and I do think it's throughout the formula. At first I thought maybe I just had some fallout from my lids, but I do think it's throughout here. I thought it was just going to be shimmer, just like the Cover FX duos. I don't hate it, I just wasn't really anticipating it. I didn't know that it was coming, so when I saw glitter, I was like, oh, what's that? But now that I have put my setting spray on, it's not as noticeable. Maybe it's my lighting, it's just picking up more. I do think it looks really pretty on the cheeks though. At first I wanted to buy like all 3 of these. I don't think I need all of them. I think I'm fine with just the one. Nabla Skin Glazing. Like I said, I think next time I use this, I'm going to put down a setting spray first. That way my skin's a little damp and a little tacky when I do apply this. I think that will really make it a blinding formula. I can tell from swatches that it is gorgeous, but just going on today, it does look very skin-like, but it also looks very natural. So if I wanted to bring that out, I do think I could. This liner, kind of a first impressions because I haven't tried this color, but I already know that I really like the wear of these, and they do last a long time before fading on the waterline. I also don't have any issues with them smudging. And for this lip combo, I'm kind of obsessed. I love the way the lips turned out. I was just kind of throwing them on and not quite sure if these two are going to pair well, and I think they look so nice together. The Me shade has just enough peachiness to it while not being a peach lipstick. It is more nude, but it just has that slight undertone. The bow and arrow was really nice. Like I said, I would just be careful with these if you do pick any of these up, just because it's really creamy and I could tell that they would break off and you don't want to waste all your product. And then the gloss looks nice too. It doesn't feel super tacky on the lips. I don't know how moisturizing it would be throughout the day, but that's not something that I really expect from a gloss. I use them more for the look of the sheen. But it doesn't feel tacky and it does feel comfortable. And that's it for my first impressions. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know below your thoughts if you've tried any of the products that I used today or if you'd like to. If you picked up anything during the Sephora haul, let me know what you've been loving. If you enjoyed today's video, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see me and more of my remarks, please subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.